Welcome to the Taf Hub. This is a brand new show brought to you by Taf Africa Global to educate you on real estate business and all the information you need to know about real estate.
After 45 years of construction and real estate development in 8 African countries, it is time to share my experience, and it can only be done in the Taf Hub. We will be inviting experts who will give you facts and the right regulations on real estate development.
Join us every week on our social media platforms for an exciting show.
You can also watch us on JRTS TV every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
I always take example from the Prophet ﷺ. And in Islam, the first pillar of Islam is worth. There are 5 pillars that you need to believe in or to do to be a Muslim. And the first is to believe in our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Prophet. If you miss that, you are not a Muslim. But despite the fact that he was a prophet that was sent by Allah, that we believe in, he had the worst criticism in the world. Some of the things that they told him, they will never tell any of us. And from his own people. So that's a good example in leadership. I mean, in Christianity is the same thing. So that's one thing that you need to understand in leadership. You have to develop a little bit of thick skin. You don't listen to, it's good to listen to people for opinion and so on. But if you focus these days on, listening to people, especially naysayers, as the new word is, you cannot progress. So you have to be led by your conscience, doing what you think is right. What is right? What attributes are that is right that you're doing? And the rest will always say something bad or wrong. So that's where I come from. So let me now focus on honesty. What I think honesty is. Honesty, I think, is about truthfulness, being truthful. Honesty is about your conscience. Now let's define conscience. What is conscience? Conscience is something that is within your inner self. That when you close your eyes, or you are in some place that nobody is looking at you, you are only thinking in your own heart and probably with your Creator. What is it that you feel in your inner self that is right that you are doing? That's your own conscience. That is yourself. You're not doing it for anybody, but just for yourself. And this probably, in this definition might fall even in other that are listed here. So that's about truthfulness. Def linga gomne moy diga. This is what the truth is. That it is wrong to give a bribe. That you must believe in it. That is what I believe. I'm not doing it because I cannot afford it. Yes, all of us do know that Mustafa Njai can give away $500 easily or $1,000. So if I find a public officer standing out there in the street, yes, it's under the hot sun. Yes, maybe if you analyze it very well, it is somebody's need. He or she needs it because he wants to buy a bag of rice and can't afford it. So arguments can come from all that. But being being honest and truthful about what I am doing and being, it's that I will not give this away, because for me, I'm encouraging bribery, which is wrong. That's not honesty. That's not being honest. So therefore, it's about your conscience, what you're doing, that it is right. So that's one of the things that I feel that honesty is about. And in honesty, there are attributes that comes with it. And some of these, are integrity, which is listed here. That you must have integrity in yourself to be truthful, to be honest. And basically, we hear this in Wolof all the time. I'm sorry I am quoting all these in Wolof, because that's my mother tongue. Danga jombale sa bopa dara. Now look, Mandal, yes, everybody's doing it, but I feel it's not right, and I'm not going to do it. Something very, very common when you are in a public place, where there are a number of people. What is right is that you queue. Anywhere you go that there is public demand, or there's a crowd, big crowd, you find people queuing. Like, for example, going into a bus. If you have traveled outside of this country, especially in the advanced world, people queue to get into a bus. People queue to get into a train. You go to the airport, anywhere that you are being served, you queue. You go to a restaurant, you queue. You go to the fast food, you queue. But what do you have here? You stand there queuing, and then somebody just comes and goes straight to the counter. That is not right. So that's about being honest with oneself. And you will say, look, whatever happened, yes, people are doing it, but I'm not going to do it. So that's about your own integrity. And again, the attributes of straightforwardness. They will tell you, oh, wow, degala, why, hamga tamid, warlo khona wa. Or again, we hear all the time, dafa nahari deret. Most of the times, wherever you find somebody who's straightforward, those are some of the things they will accuse you of. Why for feka could nahari deret? Anybody, who's nahari deret? Lu degala buga. Because you cannot be nahari deret and also not saying the truth. They will go spot on, straightforwardness. Oh, no, this is not right, and you should not do it. And you know that you should not do it. Oh, who are you? Why are you telling me? So then they divert the whole issue. The issue is no longer about addressing what he has done wrong, but now they want to change the course and say, oh no, but why do you tell me? But it's not the issue. The issue is that you are doing something wrong, and you should not do it. So that's about honesty. To be honest, apart from straightforwardness, you should not lie. Honesty cannot go with lying. And people, they're lying. They'll tell you something when you do know that it is a lie. Lie these days is attributed with, our color. It's a black lie, but let's call it a white lie today. But they're lying. Honesty is about just telling the truth. And when you tell the truth, at times, Linda was involved again, dega, kanila, and kanila kalde mel the fast saf. It's a wall of saying. It's the bitter truth. There's a saying for that. So, not many people would like to be honest or tell the truth. So therefore, honesty is about telling the truth. And yes, I think in telling the truth at times, timing is important, because you need to see probably where it's most appropriate that you say it. Some out of respect or diplomacy, being a bit diplomatic, you will not say it. And at times there are reasons why you will not say it. Because if you are dealing, for example, with your parents, if something goes wrong with them, but the truth is true, that if somebody is intoxicated with alcohol, that is the fact. But you ko wara wax. And I tell you, I get this all the time. Some of the things that I get myself involved in, because that's what I believe in. It's my conscience. But why should you be saying it all the time? Actually, some very close ones, they tell me at times, but you cannot change the world. You cannot change these things the way they are. But what they don't understand, for me, is about my conscience, that I do it, and I feel good about it, and I go to sleep. I don't have a problem. Because we must try and adapt in leadership, that we must be truthful. Because you have followers. You have people who are following you, and you are leading by example. Followers, they look up to their leaders. So if your leader does anything right, it is likely that you will follow his or her steps. So one should always be truthful and not be lying. Again, you must not cheat. You must not cheat. Honesty does not go with cheating. You must be always truthful, do what is right, and avoid cheating. And as you expand on that, cheating also means, well, you can cheat on a lot of things. As we all know in sports, the drugs that they take, that's considered cheating. The steroids. We've seen people being stripped out of accolades that they have won, medals that they have won. But they go further and they strip them of these awards, or these medals are given, because they cheated. They took steroids, that enhanced their power, whatever, to be ahead of their competitors. So you must not cheat. All these are very difficult ones, though. They're very difficult at times not to. My late uncle, Dr. Ibrahim Asamba, he used to tell me, he was a man of wisdom, and he contributed a lot to who I am today. So he will tell me, Modu Mustafa, and in Wolof, dangane do jël bribe de, do lifin de, waaye am na ñoo xam ne so ubbe sa drowa yow rek nga nekk fa nga fekk fa xaalis bi ñu fa dugal ñi ko delloo duñ bari de. But we must develop leaders, and that's why you are here today. That's why you are privileged. You are chosen to be those who are at the top, at the creme of leadership. That's why we're investing in you today. That you must have this attribute. That you must be the one that I am honest enough not to do this. I will not cheat. A good example, and I make reference for you, go into YouTube and please Google up the UBA security officer that found $10,000 in UBA in Lagos and declared it. Imagine, security guard, he picked $10,000 and took the money to the manager. That, well, I found this here. Somebody left this here. $10,000. How many of you would have returned it? Let's check. $10,000. Ah, boy. Yeah. $10,000. Ken gisula camera yi doxut. Doko delo abis yo doko delo or na ma doko delo. But the guy, now let me continue the story. So please go, it's in YouTube. Just Google it up in YouTube. Search it. The UBA security guard that found $10,000, something like that. You'll find it. Guess what he had? He was honored at a UBA end of year awards or whatever. He was given money. The money is there. It's all listed. Nigerians, that's my people them, Like Hajan. So, who is the head of UBA? Head of UBA, the chairman? Come on, guys. What's wrong with you guys? Some very, very prominent that you should know. Tony Elomelo. Tony Elomelo, you know the Tony Elomelo Foundation. He helps, his foundation helps young entrepreneurs like yourselves. So he's the chairman of UBA. He's a billionaire, but very prominent in social media. Like, he's probably much more prominent than me. He's on every link. So he started by giving the man, I think, $10,000 or $20,000 on stage. They called him up. He was with his bow tie and everything, as a reward of being honest. And what you did, boom. There was a governor. He said, "Okay, I'm going to come." Then they started putting money. The guy walked away, I think, with thousands of dollars, plus a car. Some gave him a car. I think even a house. But that's the price for honesty. Imagine if this was multiplied. That anytime we see anything wrong, we'll do it right. Not cheating. Not stealing. A good place that we all see, again, that's more on discipline, but it's also as part of leadership, good leadership. I always quote Singapore. Singapore, I have not been to Singapore, but I understand that you won't even find, a paper chewing gum there. Nobody throws anything on the floor. Dubai, you know what's happening with Dubai today? They have banned us, Africans, not to go there on visa, and we are doing everything possible to get in. Dubai actually started, real Dubai was after 1970. Before 1970, there was only one-story building in Dubai. And Africans, we had our independence in the 60s. But today, all of us, African, anybody who thinks that you have it, you have to go and enjoy Dubai. Leadership again, good leadership. So in Dubai, certain things you will not do there. Very close to us, very, very close to us, is Rwanda. Rwanda, look at Rwanda. 1994, there was genocide. Today, it's one of the cleanest cities you see in Africa. And everybody wants to go to Rwanda. Everybody wants to emulate Rwanda. Because some of these bad attributes, which doesn't come with honesty, is practiced there. Now, honesty is about also trustworthiness. There must be trust. Because in being honest, honesty must be displayed in relationships. What relationship? One, let's start. You are born a kid, or as a parent, you have to be honest to your child. You cannot tell your child that these vibes are wrong, and then you go and do it. You are not being honest with him or her. So you start from that stage. And then as you are growing with your peers, with your siblings, you must display a level of honesty. Then you go to school with your teachers, fast track. Then you end up getting married with your spouses. There must be honesty. You must not cheat on your spouse. You must be honest with him or with her. Then you get employed. One bad saying that should be erased from the wall of saying of today, that nobody should say it, we should erase it. What is it? Harbi fiñ ko takala leke. Moy sachal. So you find somebody has his hay, all work, toil the soil, do everything, and then pile it up there. You nga ñoo taka sa har bi fofu and expect the har to go and eat the hay, which is not yours. That is wrong. But we have that saying, which should be banned, that it shouldn't be said. And we say it very commonly. Those who are cheating, those who are stealing, they work in Sunyukir or MFH trading. You are a storekeeper. They've given you some goods to look after. You have been paid a salary. And then you're finding the weakest point to steal the products to go and sell them. And we know that this happens. Huh? You go to the market, certain places, they only sell stolen material. You know, we all know this. So, but then if you confront him or her, what does he say? That's not right. You're not being honest. So, as an employee, you have a contract with your employer. And in a contract, there are certain stated agreement, rules and clauses. You are giving out your labor, and it is stated that you should do X, Y, Z, come to work, and work 42 hours or 40 hours a week. Monday, it's from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. You have a break at this time. And then in return for your labor, you are being paid so much. And then if you do well, you're being given a bonus. It's all clearly stated. But you go on to all these other things you want to bring in, which is not part of your agreement. So you are being dishonest. That's cheating. That's wrong. So as leaders again, these are some of the things, the reason why we're having this academy, this leadership academy, is to bring you up at this very critical stage of your life. To grow up with these things. Now, I'm not going to do that. I told you about blowing your trumpet. Me, certain trumpet I blow, huh? I'm sorry, I blow my trumpet. If you don't want me to blow your trumpet, stay away from my area. Or go and get your trumpet and blow also. I don't have any problem with anybody blowing his own trumpet. But if I go back, when I did my apprenticeship, I was telling my staff that yesterday I tweeted going to Atlantic Hotel. Who saw that tweet? Who's on Twitter? You saw the tweet. What did I say? Huh? Shout out. You saw the headline. You didn't even read it. So what I said was that I should have come to Banjul because my niece was getting married. But coming to Brufut from Banjul is like going to Sibanor. Traffic and everything. So I wanted to just go somewhere, chill off before we did the Moor. You know the Moor, huh? It was later in the night. So after the first course of the event, I wanted to just go and relax somewhere. So I thought about Atlantic Hotel. It was in Banjul. So I went there. And I was so nostalgic when I stepped in. Because in 1980, I was the site engineer on that project. 42 years ago. Actually, we started in 1979 and then completed in 1980. So that's why it's 43. I was started as the senior surveyor. But then, I got promoted later in the project as the site engineer. But some of the attributes I had at the time, and this is, yes, blowing my trumpet, if somebody wants to say so. I had colleagues, I had peers, I had people who were at my age who were doing this. But I said to myself that certain things I wasn't going to do. I worked very, very hard. That's the taboo these days to say that I work harder. But I worked hard. We started work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's how I got used to now, up to now, starting work at times at 7. And then we will close at 7 when it's dark. Some will even work at night. I was able to learn. I had about 32 engineers, carpenters, masons, Europeans who were there. And my responsibility as the site engineer, I had about 4 other surveyors who were Gambian, was that anything that is being done on site, I have to vet it. Using my instruments and, everything. By the way, that's where I met my wife. So, some of these attributes, you need to have them inculcated in your brains. That's why you will excel. Now, fast track, 40-something years now, obviously, amongst all the lot who had the opportunity, most likely I'm the one who's all standing, mashallah, thank God. But yes, there's luck, there's Allah, there's God, there's prayers, but please remember that God gave us everything the same. 10 fingers, 2 hands, a head, a brain to think, a chest, feet to stand on. The rest, you have to develop it. Otherwise, we would not have been on this earth. So, certain things, you must say no to it. You must say, no, I am not going to cheat. I need to be trustworthy. The other thing is loyalty. You must be loyal. For a reason. If somebody is doing what is right to you, you must give back. Again, I'm quoting this Quran because I know, I see some of them who have left to pray. Some of you pray on the spot. That's fine. So that's why I want to, sift a bit into Islamic. And loyalty is about, in Wall of Word, wolare, kolare. You know, yalla dafa laajte kolare. You hear it all the time. And that's loyalty. Loyalty is about a relationship. I am loyal to him because, I owe it to him to be loyal. You are serving in the force, where there is a code of conduct. That's what you should do. So there's loyalty. You are a servant. So being honest means being loyal. Being honest also meaning being fair. Where you are in a position of leadership, you need to be fair. Because you are expected to take decisions that will affect your lives or other people's lives. Where it is said that there is a position of a computer analyst, and these are the criteria, that if you get this XYZ, the most qualified should have it. And you are at the position to decide. Why should you practice nepotism? Because somebody comes from the same race with you, or from the same country, or from the same tribe, or the same religion. Why should you consider that and not the criteria? You're not being fair. You're not honest. So honesty is about fairness. That when you are in a decision-making position that is in leadership, you must be fair in every action that you take. That yes, he is XYZ, and he's qualified and he will get it. Recently, actually, my pleasant surprise, I was talking to a state minister who is pretty new. And there was a contract that was offered to somebody. That somebody came to me to say that he was surprised to win the contract. I said, why? He said, because nobody called me. I just submitted my application and did everything I was to have done, and I won this thing. And that's not the norm. I didn't have to lobby anybody. All I had to do was to do everything that they asked for. And I got it. So I'm surprised. Can you imagine? Even just being straightforward, honest, and putting up a tender, and you put in all your paperwork and won it, you were surprised that it happened. So, obviously, I have a relationship with most of these ministers, So I called the minister. So, well, I got this call from somebody that, has a one relationship with me or the other. And this is what happened. He said, yes, I told the committee that we must exercise fairness. That we must administer the word to the letter, or vice versa, letter to the word. That whoever is the best that submitted the bid will get it. And it happened. Wouldn't that be nice? To have a country where we don't have to pick our phones and call somebody, or talk to somebody, or ask somebody who knows somebody to do something. And that's how we compromise things here. So in your position as leaders, we must be fair. And once we are fair, remember we are all in this game together. We will never complain. But one thing that we are very good at, any time that we are favored, we don't complain. If you went and lobby and got everything on your own side to win the contract or whatever, or get the favor, you will not complain. But the moment that it goes the other way around, you start complaining. So that's something that we need to do. Again, being sincere. Honesty is being sincere. Sincerity. In every relationship, there should be sincerity. I don't know how to say sincerity in Wolof, but that's one of the attributes of being honest. And honesty is about leadership. That's why we have all these 12 here listed. And we are at number 10 now on honesty. So as I take my seat, I will appeal to you to be honest as much as possible in everything that you do in life. You will never regret it. The worst is to go to bed with your conscience. Even if you lose out, you will have a deep sleep. You'll go to bed saying, yes, I did what I was supposed to do. And it doesn't happen all the time. Because some go to bed knowing very well that they've done what is wrong. If you cheat, you know you have cheated. You shouldn't be comfortable with your own self and your conscience. But as leaders, these are the things we want from you. We want to develop a country, a continent, a race that will at least have few values on these that are listed here. The 12. There I go. I have 20 seconds to go. Again, remember, in leadership, timing is everything. As I told you, I was at a wedding yesterday, and my elderly cousin always says this. You know, when somebody stays too long, he will say, if we are dancing, huh? You shouldn't overstay. Just do your bit and move out. So on that note, thank you very much. I will come back as we finalize. I appeal to you to be honest in everything that you do. You will never ever regret it, no matter how long you live. You might be lonely in the journey. People will say, oh no, dafa nahari dara du def li biditi badata amul li dafa dof rek mota. But hewon na fi. We saw the Jawara regime. After the Jawara regime, there was a commission. Some people, whether wrong or right, they suffered. But there were some that were never called upon. Then came the Jammeh regime. We just saw it in 2016. There were commissions. There were some who were called. Some things were revealed. But those who were honest within their conscience were never called in. So we expect those of you in public offices or wherever you are in your life to be honest and not be listed amongst those